And we'd like to see a world in which every person gets access to this type of basic testing.
Elizabeth Holmes, founder of healthcare and tech company Theranos. She claimed her technology could run hundreds of tests on one single drop of blood. The Theranos deception cost investors hundreds of millions of dollars, but most importantly, it risked the lives of many unsuspecting patients. Who is Elizabeth Holmes? Why should we know her? What's blood got to do with it? And why I think she's the most dangerous white-collar criminal in the history of all healthcare. I'm in Allen RX, and that's what's coming up next. Now, before we head down the money trail, let's dig into the details and find out what really made investors dump millions of dollars into a tech starter company that had no tech. With all the talk about the millions of dollars that Elizabeth finessed from the investors, one might almost overlook the real reason why they put their money where her mouth is. What was it? Was it the way she started using her voice and changing it and making it deeper?
This is what happens when you
Could it have been the good looks, her charm? Because she was reported to say things like, "They can't put pretty people like me in jail." I wonder how he would rate her. He'd probably say something like,
"You're average looking at
so
best."
it wasn't the looks, of course. It was the opportunity to get into an $800 million industry, the healthcare industry. Over $7 billion was raked in worldwide annually.
This is what happens when you work to change things. First they think you're crazy, then they fight you, and then all of a sudden you change the world.
Elizabeth Holmes was once a rising star in the tech world, hailed as the next Steve Jobs for the work at her company Theranos. But as it turned out, the successes of Theranos were built on lies and deception, and Holmes would eventually face charges of fraud. Born in 1984, Elizabeth always knew she wanted to be a billionaire. Sounds like something that would be by any means necessary. But let's get back to the story. She started her company, Theranos, while still a student at Stanford University with the goal of revolutionizing the healthcare industry. The summer before her last year that she attended Stanford University, she went on a school-sponsored trip to China, where she met a guy 20 years her senior, Sunny Balwani. Sunny, who would eventually become a secret lover, an investor in her company, and COO of Theranos. At the age of 19, after doing just 2 years at Stanford, she, like many other tech entrepreneurs before her, quit Stanford University to pursue her dreams and become the next big tech giant. Her technology was not only going to be groundbreaking in the field of technology, but also healthcare. But she would find that it's not so easy to get into the healthcare industry as it would have been for her to become, say, Mark Zuckerberg and develop Facebook. Whereas if his product failed, then there would be no lives in danger or loss. In her case, it would make a significant impact on the healthcare industry. The last version of her product, the Edison, was the machine that she claimed could do hundreds of blood tests on one single drop of blood. Some investors were initially impressed with Elizabeth's vision for her company Theranos. Those except investors who specialize in the medical field. Her early board would not contain any experts in molecular biology, diagnostics, or biochemistry. Without any experts in this particular field, she had to seek investors from other areas of industry. From that, she was able to attract millions of dollars with her idea of breaking into the healthcare industry with this technology. But her technology was not as advanced as she claimed it would be, and that would show over time. They were actually using machines, traditional blood testing machines that were already in market, because their tests were inaccurate or produced errors.
A man who goes by the initials RC right now in Arizona, who is suggesting that the lab results that he got from Theranos were not accurate, and it led to him having a heart attack. Based on what you know, is it possible that what he's saying is true?
I'm not the lab director, and so...
I know, but you're the CEO and founder of the company. I mean, this is as serious as it gets.
What I know is that I've put the best people in place to be able to investigate every aspect of this and ensure that we meet the quality standards that we hold ourselves to, and I know they're doing that.
So, She collected all this money from these people. She knew the machine didn't work, which leads me to believe she may have had some kind of sociopathic or some kind of dissociative personality disorder. Because how could someone knowingly push technology that didn't work? Could have had something to do with the fact that she had no education or experience in healthcare or human anatomy or how these type of diagnostic machines work. She had no one on her board that could tell her anything differently other than just selling a dream. She pretty much was doing a great job of selling a dream. Despite knowing that she had a machine that didn't work, that were producing inaccurate or no test results, she continued to lie about the successes of the company and the technology. This machine did not work, period. She was using a different type of machine that was already on market to get the test results. So what was the point of any of this? She was even went as far as lying to regulators because she had to go through the FDA. She had to go through different other checkpoints in which they were the ones that initially figured it out after the reports from the newspaper went out. She had gotten these machines into clinical trials. They were using them on terminally ill cancer patients to get test results. And then at that point, they just started falsifying test results. Imagine, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but you're doing tests on people who are already terminally ill. There has to be some kind of charge of doing something like that. Giving them negative test results, false positives, false negatives. They continue to push this product with no regard for human life. In the meantime, she continued to lie to her investors until she got this company to be up to almost $9 billion. That's what this company was worth if the product had worked, but it didn't. They started putting these machines in a giant retail pharmacy. They thousands of stores nationwide. The pharmacist would have been responsible for supervising the test, which is the blood draw, and getting the results, interpreting the results, consultations, and recommendations on how to move forward. On top of every other thing that we do on a daily basis in a retail pharmacy setting. If their responsibility would have been placed on the pharmacist or not, because even with the test results, the pharmacist still has to make a recommendation. That's still something that will refer you back to your primary care doctor. So was it really helping? But because she didn't have anybody on her staff that was actually an expert in the medical field, then these are things that she could try to talk her way out of, but in reality, there was nothing she could do about that. Her stock plummeted. Elizabeth's fall from grace is a cautionary tale of lies and deceit when it comes to business and when it comes to healthcare. She was recently charged with multiple accounts of fraud and other charges. Let me know your opinion on this whole situation. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. I gotta get back to work, y'all. Those prescriptions, they keep piling up, and these phones, they never stop ringing. I'll catch y'all in the next video.